So I had a home birth, girl, and I didn't tell anybody. Roll the intro because we have a lot to talk about. So 7 weeks ago, I had a beautiful baby boy, and I chose to deliver him in a beautiful home birth fashion. No, I didn't know anything about home birth. The seed was planted in my mind about a month before I delivered him and got ready within a month. So there wasn't much prep, which we'll talk about in this video, but I really kind of want to break it down for you. So just so you know, you have options, because I find when it comes to pregnancy and birth, it's treated like it's such a medical thing when I actually feel like birth is more of a natural thing. We're made for this. And I don't want to get into the politics of it, but at the end of the day, women are made for it. This is why you have a uterus, and this is why you're able to breathe life into this world. I find it to be such a natural, how do I describe birth? I just find birth to be this beautiful, natural, just amazing thing that we women can do. And I don't like the fact that it's treated like it's an emergency or it's treated like it's a medical thing. So personally, I'll give you a little background. I don't particularly love hospitals. They give me the creeps. They always have. I've always been this way ever since I was a child. I don't like the smell of hospitals. Yes, it has a distinct smell. I don't know. I just don't like hospitals. Being able to relax in an environment that you don't like is pretty difficult. And that's what birth essentially is. You need to go within. You need to relax your body. You need to let go and let your uterus do what it's meant to do. It's go time for your uterus, not go time for you. And it's easier said than done, because relaxing while you're in a lot of pain doesn't really go together. But girl, I chose to have a home birth. I loved it. I have absolutely no regrets. I didn't tell anybody, especially family, because I knew they would freak out. I didn't tell my mom. I know my mom wouldn't approve and she would just be all stressed out about it. I didn't tell my mother-in-law because I felt like it would have been the same thing. When my mom found out I had a midwife, the first time around when I had a midwife, she almost lost it. She was like, what? Why wouldn't you just get a doctor? With you guys, I had the top doctor. Why wouldn't you get a doctor? And I was like, Mom, actually, it's very different. Like, I don't know how it is in the States, but here in Canada, midwives are highly regulated. So they are basically the same as an OB. Ironically enough, here in Canada, you most likely have a family doctor deliver your baby, depending on who's on call. It most likely wouldn't be an OB. But anyways, let's get into the home birth experience. Like I said, it was a great experience and there wasn't much prep associated with it. That's one of the reasons why I was a little iffy about it. Give you a little background. With my first pregnancy, I wanted to deliver at a birthing center. I felt like it was the closest thing to a hospital without being a hospital, and they have all the equipment. The only time that they need to transfer is very rare in a case of an emergency, but other than that, they had everything, and the rooms were beautiful. They had all these stations that you could labor in, which is one of the things that drew me to the birthing center. They have a tub, they have a bed, they have the bouncing balls, the peanut ball. They had all the things that a woman needs to labor so that you're not stuck in one place. If you do your research, you will find out that giving birth on your back is actually the worst thing you can do, and yet it is the most prevalent way of giving birth. They will put you on a hospital bed on your back, and good luck. If this is your first time watching me and my channel, maybe I should start by saying that in my old age, I have grown to be very in tune with my body. I value my health. I like to do things the best way possible. That takes into consideration my health, my well-being, my fitness. I'm very big on that. So that's another thing that I would recommend. That's not the point of the video, but work out if you plan on being pregnant and having a baby. But anyway, I was drawn to the birthing center the first time around. That's the way that I wanted to deliver my baby. But because my baby was starting small and the midwife was on the fence about, is she okay? Are we gonna need a team or anything afterwards? They were concerned about her weight the entire pregnancy. I couldn't deliver at the birthing center. I had to deliver at the hospital. And to be fair, it was smooth sailing. It was a straight experience. Nothing went wrong. I had a great first birth with my daughter. Now, the second time around, I didn't even think about the birthing center because at first when I looked into it, there was a flood or something there and they were closed for like almost 8 months. The plan was to go to the hospital. However, closer to me delivering the baby, they started talking about reopening up. And I was like, oh my God, maybe if they open up before I deliver, I could deliver at the birthing center. Unfortunately, I don't even think they're open. They're still not open. So forget the birthing center. And as I was talking to my doula, she mentioned, How about a home birth? A seed was planted. How about a home birth? So I started looking into it. Now, who is a home birth for? I would say that a home birth is not for everybody. I don't think you should give birth at home if it is your first time. And I say this because birth is a very interesting feeling. So is pregnancy. Everything that you're going to experience is new. And when you are at home, the biggest thing is you can't have pain management. And that is the reason why 80% of people transfer is because of pain management. Most people transfer because they want an epidural, and you can't get an epidural at home. And if you've never given birth before, I feel like you don't know what the pain is like. You prep for it. I hope you do. You imagine it, but no one can truly explain what birth is going to feel like until you are actually delivering your baby. Then you're like, it's hot. And you forget all your training, you forget all the breathing exercises that you read and videos you watch on YouTube. So the first time around, I would say be in an area where you can choose, because then if you get to a position where you're like, oh my God, I need the epidural, you'll have to get transferred to a hospital. Now, in terms of preparation, giving birth at home requires very little preparation. My midwife gave me a list of supplies to get, which to be honest, I didn't even get any of them. They're mainly just like towels, and what else was on the list? If you Google it, you will find a list of home supplies that you should get. Receiving blankets. There was lots of receiving blankets and towels. That's basically what she wanted me to get. They actually bring everything to you. So she brought the oxytocin shot that they usually give women after birth. She brought whatever they needed. There was another shot that was in the fridge that she gave me ahead of time in case anything went wrong. They also had like a big turf thing in case things got messy, but didn't even use that. And of course, she gave us instructions on how to make the bed. I didn't even make it to the bed, girl. We need to get to the actual birth. I'm taking too long. But preparation, very little, and the mess is actually pretty contained. Those were my biggest worries around a home birth. And by the way, a home birth doesn't mean that you are going to deliver in water. That is your choice if you want to get a pool or a small pool to deliver in, or I guess deliver in a tub or something. But delivering at home doesn't necessarily mean you're going to deliver in water. I did labor in the tub for a little bit, but then I actually found that on the toilet is one of the best area for me to labor in, because you can actually really let go on the toilet, because we're used to associating the toilet with letting go. So I did a lot of my laboring on the toilet. I will also point out that it's very important to have a good support system. I had not only the midwife, but also a doula. And I would highly recommend the doulas. Girl, get the doula. It's an extra set of hands that you have. It's another person that you have on your team that can advocate for you, that can speak for you, and that helps you out during birth. They're not part of the medical staff, but they are part of the emotional staff, you could say. She would take care of you, bring you water, bring you juice, bring you food. She brought a TENS machine. She would keep me company and kind of distract me from the pain. She was doing the hip pressure so that I'm comfortable. Highly recommend having a doula. I had one the first time around, and I had one the second time around, and I would recommend you getting one too. So then the process. The process is very simple. You labor at home, you have your baby at home, and then you stay home. It's great. But let me talk about my actual birth in detail. Now, it was very interesting because I went in labor early in the morning. Like I woke up in labor. I think it was like 3 in the morning when I woke up and I was in labor, and I was like, oh, I think it's go time. But I wasn't sure because they were very irregular. So I was kind of like paying attention, and I started tracking them. And then I woke up my husband. I was like, oh, I think today's the day. He was supposed to go to work, so he figured it all out and stayed home. And in the morning, I was like, okay, you know what? It's still irregular, but let's figure out what we need to do with my toddler. Everything was already set up. She was supposed to be with my husband's mom, my mother-in-law, but she ended up being sick that day. So we were like, we're gonna leave her. So we had to scramble a little bit. And eventually she ended up going to my husband's aunt's. So she's taken care of. Now I'm home and I'm laboring. I called a doula because I wasn't too sure. And so she comes over. Now she's keeping me company and we're kind of talking. She's distracting me from the pain. And then things starts to slow down. Nothing's happening. Around 3 p.m., when things started slowing down and I wasn't sure, I called the midwife and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like maybe someone should check me. I wasn't sure if I was still in labor, if I wasn't. So she comes over and she checked me and I was about 3 centimeters dilated. So in my mind, I'm like, I still have a long way to go. Like, what's going on? So the doula's like, okay, I'm gonna go home. Call me if anything changes. But, go outside, go on a walk, just go about your day. Don't wait around because sometimes labor starts and stops. Cool. So, I do just that. It was a beautiful day. I go on a walk. We go to Starbucks. We kind of chill because we didn't have a baby with us. So I was like, oh my God, why do we do it with ourselves? We just chill the entire day. And then around 7 o'clock, we go and pick up my toddler. We do her night routine. She go to bed. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go to bed as well. So I eat a big old plate of food and I go to sleep. Except I can't sleep. Now labor picked right back up. And I was just like, oh shoot. Okay, I think it's happening. And it's picking back up. It's getting a little spicy. And I'm like, oh my God, call the doula, call the midwife. I think it's happening. And then it started happening. Now I'm in the water. I'm in the tub at home. It's easier to relax in your own tub, because I remember at the hospital I tried to get in the tub, but in the back of my mind I was like, how many people have been in this tub? Is this clean? Who scrubbed it? All the things in my mind in the hospital that prevent me from relaxing. But in my own house, I was like, oh, it's fine, it's clean, I know. So I got into the water and I labored there for a while, but then things were even spicier and I was like, okay, I'm getting a little uncomfortable, so I got out. And then like I told you, I was on the toilet and I'm laboring there. And girl, you know what? Let me read the birth records, because I feel like from 8 o'clock till midnight, I wasn't really there. Okay, let me get my glasses on. I'm trying to look cute. Yep, so you know what? She came and she checked me at 3 o'clock. And it's important to note the night before I went into labor, because I was 39 weeks when I delivered. 39 weeks on the day. The night before, my best friend asked me, she was like, have you collected colostrum yet for the baby? And I was like, oh, I completely forgot, because I did that with my daughter. So the night before, I went and stimulated my nipples to try to get colostrum, which I did. I got colostrum out. And then the next morning, I woke up in labor. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I feel like that's probably what kicked me over the edge. I probably was gonna go into labor anyway, because that night I felt very mellow. I took a long shower. I just felt like, I think labor is close. And I was talking to my husband and telling him, like, I don't know, I feel like, you just feel these things, So I think I probably was gonna go into labor soon, but maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. Okay, let's see. So yeah, she said she checked me. I was fine. Okay, there it is. And at 9 o'clock, she came back. And things got real spicy. That's when things got real. Dang, it happened so fast. Okay, so I'm on the toilet, I'm laboring, and then I feel this like pop. And actually the doula was right next to me and she was like massaging my back and doing all the pressures and stuff. And so she told the midwife, she was like, her water broke. And I was like, I don't know, was that the water? Because the first time around, my water did not break, they broke it. So it was a very interesting feeling, like the water breaking. My water broke at 9:30. And so I'm laboring, and at that point, the pain, it comes a point in birth where you're not even there anymore. Like your body takes over. Like my uterus took over and I was just trying to breathe through it, but I couldn't even catch my breath. Like I just felt like I was running. Like they kept telling me, catch your breath, relax. And my poor husband, he's so cute. He put this like a hypno breathing meditation. So I could hear the woman on the meditation talk about, you are going to meet your baby. Take a deep breath. So I was trying to like mimic that, but I couldn't catch my breath. And they were like, okay, calm down. You got this. And I'm like, I don't know if I do. The birth is so interesting. The noises that come out of you, girl, it's crazy. Anyways, so I'm laboring. It's happening. I feel like it's happening fast. And I remember the midwife come to me and she's like, okay, you may want to think about where you want to deliver your baby. And I was like, the bed. We fixed the bed. We had a whole turf on there. And then the way they tell us to fix it is basically make the bed the way that we want it to be made, and then you put on a plastic turf all over it, a fitted sheet that you don't care for, and then that's your bed. So then when everything's done, they can just pack everything up, throw it all away, and then there will be no mess. So that was the plan. But when she told me to think about where I wanted to deliver my baby, and she wanted to check me one last time, so she told me to get out of the bathroom and get to the bed. So I'm trying to move from the toilet, y'all, to the bedroom. I can barely walk. So I'm on all fours trying to crawl my way out of the toilet. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm not going to make it. They were like, no, just come, go ahead and move. I'm not gonna make it. So she's like, okay, well, let's put something right outside of the door so that you can just get out of the bathroom and lay down. So I'm crawling on the floor, I'm contracting, and they're intense. It's like back to back. I can't even catch my breath. So eventually I roll myself on the floor and I'm like, I need someone to hold my leg. And at that point, oh my God, the burn. This is what I mean. Knowing where you are is so important in labor, because once I felt that, I was like, oh shoot, like the baby's coming. Because it's like that burning ring of fire sensation. It's like nothing you ever experienced before. And I was like, oh, I think my ass hurts. Like everything hurts. Everything's burning. And she was like, oh, what did she say? The nerve ending back there. And I'm just like, all I know is that it hurts. Like, I don't need an explanation, man. Anyway, so I get myself on my side and it's like happening back to back. And I remember this video that I watched about like how to breathe your baby out. And it's like, so I started doing that because like I told you, I couldn't catch my breath. I felt like I was running out of oxygen with each contraction. They were just so intense. From 9:30, no, not 11:30. My water broke at 11:30. So from 11:30 till midnight, I had a baby. That's right. It was so fast. See, she even said, plan for physiologic management given, but precipitous labor. Oh my God, I'm just reading this for the first time. Anyways, my water broke at 11:30. I said 9:30 before, I was mistaken. 11:30, and I had a baby at midnight. The single live male born, vigorous and crying at perineum. Like I actually felt that. I felt like he came out in one swoop, y'all. Like it was just like one, I didn't push. My uterus just expelled him out of me. Like it was just like a shoot. It came out. It was crazy. It was so fast. Like I remember with my daughter, it was just like this slow, painful delivery. This little boy flew out of me, literally. It got to a point where they were like putting hot compress on my vajayjay, I guess, to really kind of stretch the tissue. My husband was telling me they did that, and then boom, baby head showed, and then out. Like it was just so fast, and I felt him just like right out of me. It's crazy. Yeah, so after I delivered the baby, which happened so fast, they set everything up for me. I took a shower, and it was just, that's the part that I felt like, if I ever have another baby, which I'm not, I will do another one at home, because it was just so serene. It was calm. I hop in the shower. The doula helped clean up everything. She asked me if I wanted tea, so she made me tea. And the midwife, obviously they check you. They do all the things that they do in the hospital. You know, made sure that she sewed me back up. I had 2nd-degree tear, but it was just from the back. The first time around I had 2nd-degree tearing as well, but I also had like towards the front, like a clitoris tear. I will never forget, ever forget the feeling of them putting that back together. That was the worst pain ever. Anyways, took a nice shower. Everything was already set up. I did pack my hospital bag just in case, because you never know. Maybe I would have had to transfer, but I didn't have to, thank God. So I took a shower. I got dressed. You know, they do skin to skin, of course. So I did that for a while. And then once I hopped into bed, they gave me my baby, and that was it. He was running a little cold, so they stayed for a while. Another thing, after I delivered him, I couldn't pee, so they were like, you have to pee. And I was like, I can't. I can't feel anything down there. So apparently it's a big issue if you can't pee. So they stayed with me for a while, and then they ended up adding essential oil to the toilet for me to be able to pee. So eventually that happened. But like I said, baby was running a little cold, so then he was on me doing skin to skin for a while. So they stayed for like, I want to say maybe 3 hours after I delivered to make sure everything was okay. I was okay, baby was okay. And it was just so smooth. Imagine my daughter waking up in the morning and was like, surprise, here's the baby. And she was just like, oh, I guess in her mind now, you go to sleep and you have a baby. That's just how it happens. That was my positive home birth experience. I loved it. If you are having a baby and you're considering it, I would highly recommend. Except if it is your first time, beware. I mean, if you go in strong and you know you don't want pain management, you don't want an epidural, and that's just how you want to deliver your baby, then yes. If not, and you're unsure about the epidural, then go to the hospital. I know for the first time, I didn't want an epidural, even go into the hospital. So I was like strong, and I was like, I don't want it. I can do this. Again, I'm very big on like trusting the body, believing in the body, and I want the least amount of intervention when it comes to birth personally. So this was the best way, honestly, for me to deliver my baby. Loved it. And look at him. He is sleeping right now. Oh, my baby. He's been sleeping for 4 hours. This is the longest stretch he's ever given, which is why I'm all dolled up and filming these videos. I'm taking advantage. It's 1 a.m. right now, and this is how I get my work done. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any question about a home birth, please leave a comment down below. I'm more than happy to talk about it. I feel like we don't talk about all the different options that we have enough when it comes to birth, postpartum, all of it. And I have a lot of knowledge, and I really want to offload and share because I'm done having babies, girl. I am done. It's a lot of work, okay? The next video I want to make is how to survive postpartum, because that's another thing that was not talked about enough. And if you're going in blindly, you will 100% be depressed. It's a lot. It's so much is going on postpartum. You're physically healing, you're mentally in shambles, and you have this baby that relies on you to be there for them. And perhaps maybe like family members, that is crazy. If you're not all there, if you're not strong and you're not able to tell them no, I'm telling you, it's going to affect you. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Check this one out if you enjoyed it. It was a video of my first birth, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.